Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back. My name is Anya and today I'm going to be speaking to you about the idea of having it all. So recently somebody did tell me that, Anya, you can have it all, but not all at the same time. As I was thinking about this, I immediately was conflicted, because what does it all mean to everybody? It may mean something completely different to me than it means to you, and that's absolutely fine, because nobody's journey in life is the same. Nobody's goals, aspiration, dreams, no two people are actually the same. So it doesn't make any sense for us to assume that having it all for one person would mean having it all for the next. What does it mean to have it all? Maybe what you want is to have a nice, you know what, it's not what you want. This is actually what I want. I want to have not a big house, but a house where I can find my family in it easily, where I can hear my kids playing within ear's distance. I want to have a manageable home that I know I can take care of and that I feel comfortable in, that you know, that is nice, that is new, but that my family lives in comfortably. That doesn't mean to me that I need a mansion. And if I were to gauge my level of success based on whether I have accomplished getting a mansion, then having it all would not be what I wanted in my own life according to the standards of having it all. So what are my goals in terms of my body versus the actual society expectations of it? Do I want to look a certain way? For my age, for example, I know that there's so many trends and so many things that come in and out of style. And I don't know if you've noticed in my last few videos, but I'm very simplistic. I wear white, I wear black, I wear gray, I wear, you know, the most simplistic wardrobe, and I like to keep it that way. I like my look to be just classic and timeless. That does not mean Chanel, because I cannot afford it, at least not at this time of my life, but it means that I know exactly what I feel comfortable in. I can wear the most amazing outfit that maybe looks great on somebody else and maybe looks even great on me, but if I'm not comfortable with it, then that's not making me happy. What about in terms of my family? Some people really do want to have 5 kids. I was one of them. Right now I have one and I'm expecting my second, and that means to me, honestly, that regardless of what happens next, I feel like I have it all. My husband, my kids, my life, as far as my family is concerned, is complete. That's not to say that I'm completely against having any more kids. Don't get me wrong. Like, if God sends them my way, I'm more than happy to take them. But you know, it's not a matter of if I have X amount of kids, then I will be happy. What about in terms of money? My career walks right in line with that. You know, am I in the job that I want to be in? Am I in the career path that I want to be in? Am I looking for other options and other possibilities like entrepreneurship? I mean, there are so many different possibilities right now that pigeonholing yourself into one, it's just unrealistic, and you know, not taking advantage of all of these different possibilities is definitely doing ourselves a disservice. So looking at all of these different possibilities and getting extremely excited about what it is exactly that we define ourselves as having it all is only the first step. While I am suggesting that yes, we can have it all, and yes, we can have it all at the same time, it does take a little bit more work than just thinking through what it is that you want. So what's the next step? I would definitely suggest that it's dedication It is commitment. It is a lot of hard work and just pushing through on what it is that you want to accomplish for yourself. Putting in the work, regardless of what happens, regardless of how minimal the results might seem to feel right now, it'll pay off in the long haul. Really identifying those goals and aspirations and going forward, moving in the direction of them, little bit at a time, every single day, will eventually get me there, and it will get you there too. I think it's a matter of being able to find the opportunity within yourself and give yourself the grace to allow that juggling in the process, to give yourself the opportunity to say, no, you know, wait, I may not be doing things absolutely perfect, but I am doing things darn good, and heck, I am actually doing them, which is more than most people could actually say they are doing. I definitely try to encourage myself, and I encourage you to move forward in that direction, regardless of the direction that it is that you've picked out for yourself. And that's not to say that you can't reevaluate what direction you want to go in on a daily basis, you know, on a monthly, on a quarterly basis. I actually suggest that we actually all do take a look at our goals and readjust as we move along, because things change. Things inevitably in life change. And so if we are true to what it is that we know we want for ourselves and what that having it all means, then I think it's going to be that much easier for us to walk towards it in the right way. Being dedicated, not losing hope, not losing momentum, just chipping away at those goals one day at a time, I think will make an ultimate big impact. Being super disciplined with the strategy that you've picked out for your specific goal. For example, I actually picked out last month, for the whole month, a different strategy than the one that I'm working on right now. And I said, you know what, for this whole month, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to gauge at the end of the month the results that I get, and depending on that, I'm going to tweak, adjust, and move forward. And that's exactly what I did. I do this on a month-to-month basis because I want to learn from my mistakes. I don't want to just like pick a path and just make myself bleed to death by banging my head against the wall if something is not working. If it's not working, tweak, readjust, and move forward. If it doesn't work, do the same thing. Hey, if it works, when it works, great, amazing. You've tried all of the possibilities that you could possibly try. You've failed before, and now you know that this is actually success. Go for it. I mean, that's what we're all after, right? But the part that none of us actually really seem to understand and get is that to get to that point where we do realize and understand and really come to the fruitful part of having a good strategy is the fact that we've tried others that failed before. So we need to learn from our mistakes and move on board into the right direction and just hit the turbo. And then all of that comes along with a lot of persistence. So it's very easy to lose motivation. It's so easy to just want to throw in the towel, sleep in an extra hour, mindlessly scroll through Instagram or YouTube, or listen to 1,800 types of super inspirational podcasts. Yes, I'm guilty of all of it, honestly. But actually getting up and doing the work, persisting in your personal goals and dreams, that's what's important. That is what will make a difference in your life in the long haul. Not looking at how much somebody else has accomplished. Yes, that we can all draw from that for inspiration, but eventually we have to put the phone down, we have to put the computer away, we have to get out of bed, we have to do all of the things that only we can do in order to actually make action happen. We need to take that first step, and after that first step we need to take a second step, and we need to take all of the steps thereafter without stopping. Now that doesn't mean that we're not going to go through places that are not really where we envisioned ourselves in. I mean, maybe we started this path thinking that we were going to go and land on this like beautiful and majestic place, but the place where we find ourselves right now is in the deepest and darkest valleys that ever existed. But we cannot stop. We cannot stop right there. We have to keep on going in order to reach the place where we envisioned to begin with. I remember having the experience of going on a road trip with my husband a few years back, actually, maybe even 5. And on that road trip, we actually encountered a huge storm. It was pretty bad. I mean, we were coming down from Florida and we were driving all the way up to New Jersey. It was nice and sunny one moment, and the next it was just pouring down rain. It was so terrible. We could barely see in front of us. The rain is thick. The actual drops of water were huge. Like I said, it was only like 2 feet in front of us that we could actually see. And when I looked to my side, there was somebody in a motorcycle. And I thought, oh my goodness, like we are here inside the car. We can barely see forward. I cannot even imagine what this guy's going through, you know, being underneath all of this rain, completely exposed in his motorcycle. Only about, I'm not even exaggerating, maybe 2 minutes later, we passed through the actual cloud that was raining that hard on us. The rain was left behind, the sun was out again, it was warm, it was great. The guy in the motorcycle, I thought, you know, what would have happened if he would have just said, oh, well, this is terrible, the day is ruined, I'm just gonna like park my bike here on the side of the road and wait for it all to pass. He would have still been underneath all of that water. So the lesson that I learned out of all of that experience is that sometimes, even when we feel we're in the midst of the darkest place, where it's just raining, pouring, thundering over us, we cannot stop. We cannot just say, okay, well, this is where it ends and that's it. We have to press on and keep on going, because you just don't know how quickly things would actually pass just a few more feet away from actual victory. Just a few more feet. Like, don't give up. Somebody told me one time that the end of the race was the hardest. So if you are tired, if you are fatigued, if you are in a position right now where you're just like, this is just way too much for me to handle, remember that the very end of the race, the part right before you hit that finish line, is the hardest. When I was about 20 years old and I had just completed my associate's degree in business administration, I walked back into the office of my boss where I was working at the time and said, hey, good news, I'm about to graduate, I would love to stay here, and now I have this new degree, I am better equipped, better prepared to serve, and what am I going to get for it? Essentially, can I have a raise? And she thought about it, she looked at me and she said, great, amazing, that's awesome, you're going to get a 25-cent raise. I was devastated. I was actually working at a doctor's office that was probably like 8 or 10 doctors at the time. It was a really nice place to be in, and I had invested a lot of time into really knowing all of the ins and outs of that place, and I thought I brought something really good to the table. I came in the next day and I gave my resignation letter, and with a smile on my face, I thanked her for the opportunity and wished her the very best. She was not happy at all. When she read my letter, she said I had wasted her time the day before when I came into her office asking for a raise, knowing that I would not stay. By the way, I definitely did not know that, because I was anticipating that I would actually be getting paid according to what I deserved. And she said to me that I was too ambitious. But the way she said it to me was with a negative spin. I actually always thought that being ambitious was a good thing, especially in the field of business. And so I was very puzzled by the idea that words were coming out of her mouth that didn't really match the expression that she was pairing it with. She looked at me with a look of disappointment and kind of disgust and told me that I was too ambitious. And I thought, well, thank you. And this is actually what many of you might be thinking when I'm thinking about having it all and the possibility of it being possible to have it all at the same time. But I do tell you that I definitely believe in that thought, and I think that 100% we can achieve it. Lastly, I do want to share that I don't think it's about having it all in balance. I don't think that I should expect to be able to pour in the same amount of time, energy, skill, education level to all of the different areas in my life. It's not about being balanced. I've heard this over and over, especially over the last few days, and it's really rung true in my heart. It's not about balance, it's about harmony. And so if all of these different areas in my life are being able to work together harmoniously, that is having it all. So let's start by choosing what it is that we want to accomplish. What does all mean to us? Then let's push forward. Let's motivate ourselves to be persistent, to be conscious of what strategy we choose to move forward in the right direction, to have dedication, to have commitment to what it is we've chosen. And then let's work on having all of those things have harmony with one another. So don't give up and press on. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you have not already. Give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.